Qui-Gon Jinn's death on Naboo marked a significant turning point, not only for those who were close to him, but also for the entire Jedi Order. His funeral was a somber occasion. The Jedi Council, despite their often reserved and stoic nature, could not deny the gravity of the loss. Qui-Gon had been a force for change within the Order. His unconventional methods, his emphasis on the following the living Force, and the belief in the prophecy of the Chosen One had made him an influential and respected member of the Jedi. However, the Council's response was a mixture of sorrow and hesitation. Qui-Gon had also been somewhat of a maverick within the Order, and often going against the Council's wishes in favour of following his own instincts and intuition. For Obi-Wan Kenobi, Qui-Gon's death was a profound moment of grief and reflection. Qui-Gon had been a father figure, mentor, and friend. He was the one who had taken Obi-Wan in as a Padawan, trusting in his potential when others had doubt. His death not only left Obi-Wan with the responsibility of training Anakin Skywalker, but also marked a personal loss that would affect him deeply throughout his life. Obi-Wan struggled with the weight of Qui-Gon's last request, his promise to train Anakin. While Obi-Wan had always believed in the Jedi Code and the teachings of the Council, Qui-Gon's more intuitive and heart-driven approach to the Force left a lasting imprint on Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan's faith in the Force deepened as he reflected on his master's words and actions, often finding guidance in Qui-Gon's teaching during the darkest moments of his own life, especially when the burdens of his own decisions and those of Anakin weighed heavily upon him. Qui-Gon's death steeled Obi-Wan's resolve to follow through on the promise he had made, despite his personal misgivings about Anakin's future. Anakin Skywalker too felt the void of Qui-Gon's death, though in a very different way. Qui-Gon had believed in him from the beginning, seeing in the potential in the boy long before the Jedi Council had. It was Qui-Gon's vision that led Anakin's training to start, and it was Qui-Gon's belief in the prophecy of the Chosen One that shaped Anakin's own perspective of his role in the galaxy. With Qui-Gon gone, Anakin was left to grapple with the expectations placed on him, but without the steady guidance of the one Jedi who had seen him not as a pawn, but as a force of destiny. Obi-Wan, who was tasked with training Anakin, was deeply affected by the death of his master, and Anakin, though unaware of the depths of their connection, sensed something was missing. Qui-Gon's presence, had he lived, might have altered Anakin's path, particularly as he faced the growing darkness within himself. Anakin's relationship with the Order, marked by distrust and frustration, would have been influenced by Qui-Gon's more relaxed and intuitive approach. The absence of Qui-Gon left Anakin vulnerable to the Sith, particularly Palpatine, who took advantage of Anakin's doubts and fears, while Obi-Wan did his best to train Anakin. The loss of Qui-Gon as a guiding influence was keenly felt, and the course of Anakin's life was forever altered by his ultimate death. Qui-Gon's impact on Anakin Skywalker was not just immediate, but enduring. His belief in Anakin's destiny as the Chosen One planted a seed that would continue to influence Anakin's decisions throughout his life. Even as Anakin fell to the dark side and became Darth Vader, the memory of Qui-Gon lingered in his subconsciousness. The idea that he was destined for greatness, that he had the potential to bring balance to the Force, was something Anakin could not shake. As Vader, his inner conflict was often fueled by Qui-Gon's words. There were moments, particularly when Anakin faced Obi-Wan in their final confrontation, where Qui-Gon's influence seemed to resurface. Though Anakin's path was ultimately one of tragedy, Qui-Gon's early influence and belief in him gave him a sense of purpose that was both a blessing and a curse at times. Qui-Gon's legacy was not limited to his immediate circle. On Naboo, a shrine was built in his honor, a tribute to the Jedi Master who had sacrificed his life for the galaxy. The shrine became a symbol of Qui-Gon's unwavering dedication to the Force and his willingness to defy the norms of the Jedi Order in pursuit of a greater understanding of the universe. The shrine stood as a reminder of his commitment to balance and his belief in Anakin's destiny. It was also a place for reflection, where those who came after him could consider the lessons Qui-Gon had imparted. In a galaxy that was constantly at war, Qui-Gon's example of peace, wisdom, and intuition continued to inspire those who sought to follow the light. Qui-Gon's influence also continued to resonate with Yoda, who, though skeptical of Qui-Gon's unorthodox approach, could not deny the wisdom which he had brought to the Order. In the years following Qui-Gon's death, Yoda often reflected on the lessons Qui-Gon had taught him. Yoda's connection to the Force was unparalleled, yet Qui-Gon's understanding of the living Force offered a perspective that Yoda, with all his knowledge, had slightly missed. Qui-Gon's example inspired Yoda to consider alternate approaches to the challenges when the Jedi Order faced the Clone Wars. His influence could be felt in the way Yoda approached the trainings of the next generation, as well as in his efforts of confronting the growing darkness. Qui-Gon's teachings on the living Force, on trusting in the present moment, helped Yoda remain open to the possibilities the Force presented, even as the galaxy transcended into chaos. Qui-Gon also ended up leading Yoda down a path of immortality, discovering the post-mortem life after death from the Shaman of the Wills. Obi-Wan's connection to Qui-Gon remained profound even after his death. While on Tatooine, Obi-Wan was shown to be deeply affected by Qui-Gon's passing. Even in exile, Obi-Wan's memories of Qui-Gon served as a guide. In moments of doubt and hardship, Obi-Wan would often reflect on his master's teachings, finding strength in Qui-Gon's belief in the Force, that the Force worked in mysterious ways. As he watched over Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan was guided by Qui-Gon's example of selflessness and dedication to the greater good. Qui-Gon's presence remained a steady influence on Obi-Wan, even in the most difficult of circumstances, as Obi-Wan continued his master's work in secret, preparing the galaxy for the one who would be the catalyst for the Chosen One to bring balance to the Force. Qui-Gon Jinn became the first Jedi to achieve immortality through the Force. This remarkable achievement marked a profound shift in the understanding of the Force. As Qui-Gon learned from the Shaman of the Wills, he discovered that death would not be an end, but a transition. In the afterlife, Qui-Gon remained his consciousness and his ability to communicate with those still living. His ability to manifest as a Force ghost was a revelation, something previously thought impossible to achieve for a Jedi. Qui-Gon's ability to return to the living world to guide and influence events after his death was unprecedented. His immortality through the Force allowed him to continue his work beyond the grave, offering guidance to Obi-Wan and Yoda, and even calling out to Anakin on Tatooine. In the end, Qui-Gon's legacy was not only one of his physical accomplishments, but of his profound spiritual understanding and connection to the Force, ensuring that his influence would persist through the ages. Qui-Gon Jinn's post-mortem influence and legacy continue to resonate in the galaxy, shaping the events of the Clone Wars, the rise of the Empire, and the eventual return of balance through the Chosen One. His teachings, his belief in Anakin, and willingness to go against the grain of the Jedi Order changed the course of history, and even in death, his influence continued to guide those who were destined to carry on his work.